Mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. So in today's video, we're going to spray the inside of the boot. The subframe is pretty much ready to go back in now. I've got all the components all cleaned up. I've ordered some new bits. It just needs assembling and putting it back in. But before I put it in, because the bolts that hold the subframe in place go down through the boot, ideally, I want to paint the boot first. It is not ideal. It's 11 degrees today. In fact, this weekend is probably better than it has been because it has been below freezing. Really, I would say in my experience, it needs to be at least 15 degrees before you start painting. So I've got the heaters on. I'll probably get to around about 15 degrees. We'll get the extractor on, get the boot painted. I'm not going for a perfect job inside the boot because I'm probably going to fit a very nice boot kit in there from Stitched Up Interiors once it's all done, but I do want it presentable. Before we do that though, another quick unboxing. So, what have we been buying this week? It's only a small box. So, we have 4 shock absorbers. So you might have seen it has got Spax gas shock absorbers on it, but one of the front ones was not working properly, and I've noticed one of the back ones has a dent in the side casing itself. So I bought these, they're Bilstein shock absorbers. I think, pretty sure Bilstein are a German company, so they'll be good quality. They're OE standard. Not very expensive actually. I bought them while Mini Spares had their Black Friday deal on, and let's have a look. They were, well, for a pair of fronts, $37.80 for a pair plus the VAT, and then for the backs, same price, $37.80 for the back, so not a lot of money at all. And the only other thing I bought just quickly is a pair of rear wheel cylinders. The old cylinders on there, again, not a great deal wrong with them, they looked fine, but you know, when it comes to brakes, there's no messing about. So anyway, I've got all my paint down here, so I'm just letting that acclimate because it's been up in the loft. It's colder up there because it's not insulated. So I need to get that probably up to about 15 degrees before we start mixing paint. I need to get all the boot tidied out now, hoovered out, give it a quick key up, and then we're going to hit it with some primer filler first. We'll let that dry, rub that back, and then we'll go with base coat and lacquer. I'm probably just going to cut in at each point here because there's nothing more boring than rubbing down and prepping. It really is boring, but let me get on with it, and yeah, we'll have a quick look and then I'll be back in a bit when we've done some more. Right, so if there's something I've been learnt in my older age, as I've matured a bit over the years, is years ago I'd have just left that down on the floor and I'd have crawled around on the floor. But if you can make life easier for yourself, do it. So I've got that up on a jack, up on an axle stand, which means I'll be able to sit on my chair and access the boot quite nicely without having to do my back in. Very, very important to that. So inside the boot, yeah, I just need to give this a clean up. Obviously I need to take the wiring loom out. We've got the tank bracket there, and we've got some you got the phone up in the corners. This is gonna be, that's probably gonna be some speaker wiring. Yeah, certainly. So I need to pull all that out. We need to clean up this boot floor. There should be no rust in here anymore. And then, yeah, like I say, not going to go mad on it. We're not going for a show car finishing inside here because it will get, we'll put a boot kit in it. So leave me to it for a bit. Let me get all this wiring out, get it cleaned up inside there, get it ready for some primer. Run into a bit of a problem. Every time I think the welder's put away for good. So I've done a bit of poking around inside, and as you can see, the back of the boot floor there, got some holes in it. That is going to be a real pain to get to because of where it is. I'm going to have to get the little Dremel out with a little cut disc on the Dremel, cut a piece out and weld it back in. Now, it would be annoying if I wasn't painting the car because it is probably going to burn the paint on the outside, but luckily the full car is going to get resprayed. Aside from that, I didn't find any other nastiness in here yet. So, yeah, that's probably going to take me hour and a half to do, something like that. So I'll be back in a moment when that's done. It's a little bit complicated because there is a strengthening piece under the floor there as well. There's multiple layers here. It's just corroded where it goes over, so I'll have to put a piece in and then plug weld down through. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain because of where it is. Right, so we've cleaned up this corner now. I've just about got an edge to weld on there. I'm going to have to plug weld through there. There's a little hole there which I've just repaired as well. So that's going to be a bit of a pain to repair just because of where it is. But we've cut all the rot out. But unfortunately I did find a bit down here as well. This bit's quite complicated because there's 3 panels. So this car's had a valance fitted on some point, because you can see where they've welded it on. They haven't really done it properly. I mean, it's okay. The rear valance is yeah, not kind of a structural panel anyway. But there's obviously 3 layers of metal here, so we got to replace the boot floor bit, which will be a patch in here, and then we'll weld that to the valance, and then we got to weld a piece in here, which is the rear panel, and then probably drill through the whole lot and plug weld the whole lot together. So I'll be back in a bit once I've done these bits of welding. Right, that's our welding done now. So we've got the outer piece on there, we've got the inner piece as well, and I've replaced some of these tags where they've broken off. This corner here, it's not pretty, but it's on there. I'm not going to bother grinding back the weld too much because that's behind the petrol tank, so you're never going to see it and it's really difficult to get in there. So now I just need to give this all a really good clean up, but I kind of wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to have to do more welding, but hey ho, it's a Mini. You're always going to find bits, aren't you? Right, so we're pretty much prepped and ready for primer now. So this has just had epoxy primer over the bare metal bits, and then obviously we've re-seam sealed where we've been welding. Yeah, next bit will be filler primer. We'll probably do 2 or 3 coats of that. We'll leave it overnight. We'll rub that filler primer back, then get some colour and lacquer on. I need to clear out the garage, get the extractor on the go. Yeah, I think we're all right for spraying. It's up to 16 degrees now. So yeah, it was a bit of a pain. Didn't expect to have to do these welding repairs, but it's done now. Probably the only annoying bit is where obviously I've had to weld here and weld new tabs on. It's burnt the paint underneath. Remember, all the underneath we've done really nicely in tinted Raptor. So I'll just have to, when I'm spraying colour inside here, I'll just have to touch up the bits underneath as well. Right, next step then. So this has all been painted in filler primer now. I've done sort of 3 quite thick coats, and then I have just DA'd it back and flatted it back, Scotch Brite, and 360 on the DA. So that's ready for base coat now, which we'll do in the click of a finger. Right, that's the base coat done. It's probably a little bit dark, isn't it? Oh, that's not too bad on camera. Yeah, it's all right, but it's so difficult to do, to get everywhere. I did borrow Mark's little detailing gun. I wondered whether that would be easier, but I just used my normal DeVilbiss gun. I've had a bit of a reaction up on the inner wing there and by that battery tray, but I'm probably not going to worry too much about it. Like I say, this is going to get a boot kit inside, so this is more just for protection. Yeah, I mean, that's reacted a little bit there. If I want to sort that out, I'm going to have to leave it sort of 24 hours, rub that back, start again. It'll probably react again. So, I don't know. I need to get some lacquer on this now though, so I've got pretty good coverage, I think. There's no bare spots anywhere. Like I say, it's very difficult to do, and it took a lot of paint as well. That took, let's have a look. I used probably about 750ml of paint to do the inside of that. So quite a lot of paint. Right, so there we go. Freshly painted. I'm pretty pleased. Like I say, I've got this bit of reaction up here. I could sort that out at a later date if I wanted, to be honest, but it's inside the boot. I'm really not that fussed. Typically, the side that is all going to be covered by the fuel tank come out absolutely perfect. But we've gone right up to the top as well. So the paint finish is better than original. Wouldn't have been that shiny from original. But just gives it lots and lots of protection. So really quite pleased with how that's come out. Like I say, it's very, very awkward to paint. The only bits I probably couldn't get properly was inside the battery tray. But aside from that, pretty pleased. And I did underneath as well. So you won't be able to see it, but up inside here I had to redo it because obviously we burnt through the paint up here and in the corner, and we were welded on some tabs. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So once again, thanks for coming back and viewing the video this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed in the build series. Actually, it seems to be going on forever, and it's just because I don't have as much time in the garage as I used to, so I'm only probably doing 4 or 5 hours a week on average at the moment. But yeah, as I say, thanks for coming along, thanks for joining me, thanks for coming back each week. I wish the video views were a bit better. I mean, yeah, I've not been putting out as much content as I have done before, so maybe it's just not as interesting for people, but the views have dropped off a bit. Hopefully they pick up a little bit over the sort of Christmas period. But yeah, once again, for the people that do come back every week, I really do appreciate your support. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. It all helps. And if you want to drop me a comment, I read all the comments. So have a nice week. Be back again next week, and we'll probably be putting the subframe back in. Cheers.